Hello, welcome to my channel. Before proceeding to study, please subscribe to my channel. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of basic electrical and electronics engineering. We'll dive into key concepts like Introduction to Semiconductors, Diodes. V characteristics. Slide 1. Introduction to Semiconductors. Let us begin by understanding what semiconductors are. A semiconductor is a material whose electrical conductivity lies between that of conductors, like copper, and insulators, like rubber. It doesn't conduct electricity as freely as a metal but can conduct under specific conditions, making it ideal for controlling current. The most common examples of semiconductor materials are silicon, Si, and germanium, Ge. Silicon is more widely used due to its abundance and stability. A key concept here is the band gap, the energy difference between the valence band and the conduction band in atoms. Semiconductors have a small band gap, which allows electrons to move into the conduction band when energy is applied. There are two main types of semiconductors, intrinsic, which are pure, and extrinsic, which are doped with impurities to improve conductivity. Doping introduces either more electrons, N-type, or more holes, P-type, into the material. Electrons are negatively charged particles, while holes represent the absence of an electron, positive charge. For example, in an N-type semiconductor, we add atoms like phosphorus, which donate extra electrons. In a p-type, atoms like boron create holes. Semiconductors are the foundation of modern electronics, enabling the development of compact, fast, and energy-efficient devices like smartphones, computers, and LEDs. Slide 2. Intrinsic vs extrinsic semiconductors. Now let us understand the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. An intrinsic semiconductor is a pure form of semiconductor with no added impurities. The number of electrons and holes is equal. It conducts electricity very poorly at room temperature. To improve conductivity, extrinsic semiconductors are made by adding a small amount of impurity atoms. This process is called doping. If we add atoms with more electrons than silicon, like phosphorus, we create an N-type semiconductor, where electrons are the majority carriers. The minority carriers are holes. Conversely, if we add atoms with fewer electrons, like boron, we create a p-type semiconductor, where holes are the majority carriers. The level of doping controls how many charge carriers are available, directly affecting how well the material conducts electricity. Extrinsic semiconductors are widely used in devices like diodes, transistors, and solar panels. For instance, a solar cell uses a p-n junction made from extrinsic semiconductors to generate electricity from sunlight. Slide 3. p-n junction diode, construction and symbol. The p-n junction diode is one of the simplest semiconductor devices. It's formed by combining a p-type and n-type semiconductor together. At the junction, some electrons and holes combine, creating a depletion region, an area with no free carriers. This depletion region creates a small built-in voltage called the barrier potential, around 0.7 volts for silicon and 0.3 volts for germanium. The diode has two terminals, the anode connected to the p-type, and the cathode connected to the n-type. It allows current to flow only when the anode is at a higher voltage than the cathode. The circuit symbol of a diode is a triangle, pointing to the cathode, with a vertical line representing the barrier. Because of its unidirectional current flow, diodes are used in rectifiers to convert AC to DC. A real-life example is the mobile phone charger, where the diode helps ensure that the current flows in one direction only. Slide 4. Working of diode, forward and reverse bias. Let us now understand the two main operating conditions of a diode, forward bias and reverse bias. In forward bias, the anode is connected to the positive terminal of a battery and the cathode to the negative terminal. This reduces the barrier potential and allows current to flow. The current starts flowing significantly after the knee voltage, which is around 0.7 volts for silicon. In reverse bias, the battery polarity is reversed. This widens the depletion region, increasing resistance and blocking current flow. Only a very small leakage current flows due to minority carriers. If the reverse voltage is increased too much, the diode may enter the breakdown region, where it starts conducting heavily and may be damaged, unless it's a Zener diode designed for that. An important term here is reverse saturation current, the tiny current that flows under reverse bias due to minority carriers. This property of diodes, conducting in one direction and blocking the other, makes them very useful in circuits that need protection, such as battery circuits or power supplies. Slide 5. V characteristics of diode. The V, voltage current, characteristics graph shows how a diode behaves in different bias conditions. In forward bias, current is very small until the knee voltage is reached. After that point, the diode starts conducting rapidly, and current increases steeply. This is the forward conduction region. In reverse bias, the current remains almost zero, except for a small leakage current. If we increase the reverse voltage too much, the diode reaches the breakdown voltage, where it suddenly conducts a large reverse current. The diode does not follow Ohm's law because the relationship between voltage and current is nonlinear. You can think of it this way: in forward bias, a diode acts like a closed switch after 0.7 volts. In reverse bias, it acts like an open switch until breakdown. This characteristic curve helps designers choose the right diode for the circuit, depending on the required voltage and current. Slide 6. Advantages and disadvantages of diodes. Let us now look at the advantages and disadvantages of using diodes. Advantages. Diodes are small and lightweight, making them ideal for compact circuits. They can operate at low voltage and power, which is suitable for most electronic devices. Diodes have fast switching capabilities, especially in logic circuits. Their long lifespan and ruggedness make them reliable. They are easy to integrate into ICs and microcircuits. They are inexpensive and widely available. Diodes work in both analog and digital systems. They are commonly used in rectification and signal control. They remain reliable under various temperatures. Disadvantages. Diodes allow current in only one direction, so they are not suitable where bidirectional flow is needed. Diodes cannot amplify signals, unlike transistors. They have limited voltage and current ratings. If the reverse voltage exceeds a limit, the diode can break down. Diodes behave nonlinearly, complicating analysis. In high temperatures, reverse leakage current increases. Performance varies based on semiconductor material used. They must be biased correctly to function. Not suitable for high-power amplification tasks. Slide 7. Applications of diodes. Finally, let's explore the various applications of diodes in real-world electronics. 1. Rectifiers convert AC to DC in power supplies, most common use. 2. Clippers limit voltage spikes and protect circuits. 3. Clampers shift the voltage level of signals without changing shape. 4. Voltage regulation Zener diodes are used to maintain constant voltage levels. 5. Switching circuits diodes act as fast on-off switches in digital logic. 6. Protection devices prevent damage from incorrect polarity or voltage surges. 7. Signal demodulation extract audio from modulated radio signals. 8. Light emission LEDs emit light when forward biased. 9. Example, a Zener diode keeps the voltage of a television power supply stable. These applications demonstrate how diodes are critical to both basic and advanced electronic systems.